What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about the apparent time to kill problem in the Call of Duty Vanguard Beta. This appears to be one of the bigger complaints in the community, is the time to kill feels too fast and that there's basically no time to react to being shot at. And while I've already talked about the time to kill in this game, and I have mentioned that based on what we've seen so far, at least when it comes to the body shot time to kill, this isn't out of the ordinary at all for a Call of Duty game. We've actually got fairly standard time to kill values. In fact, the time to kill is a little bit slower than Modern Warfare on average. However, the perception of the time to kill, I think, is being impacted by a few potential factors. First up, I feel like a lot of Call of Duty players lately have been either playing Cold War or Warzone, and therefore they are used to a longer time to kill in both of those experiences. Second, part of this perception could be due to connection issues. This is something that commonly happens, especially early on in Call of Duty games, where you get a lot of like shoot first, die first situations, and the connection experience just feels really strange and inconsistent. And while personally I haven't really felt a lot of this, like not nearly as much as I felt last year with Cold War, I realize that everybody's network is different and therefore everybody has a different experience when it comes to connection, so it could be due to that. However, I do think the biggest reason for this issue is the headshot multiplier. In the Vanguard Beta, every single assault rifle and SMG, with the one exception being the NZ41, was set up in such a way that one single headshot mixed in with body shots would reduce the number of shots it takes to kill. So guns would either go from being a 4-shot kill down to a 3-shot kill, or from a 3-shot kill down to a 2-shot kill. And this means our time to kill values go from a fairly reasonable 250 to 300 milliseconds for body shots down to more like 150 to 200 milliseconds with just one single headshot mixed in. And keep in mind, the average human reaction time is about 250 milliseconds, so when you start getting especially significantly below that value, this does start to lead to those feelings of being instantly melted with no time whatsoever to react or fight back. In fact, a lot of the times when I die to the BAR, which only requires one headshot and one body shot to get a kill, I literally thought I got sniped. And I would watch the kill cam very confused because I see that he's clearly not using a sniper rifle, but I definitely felt like I got sniped. Now here's the deal, I can already hear a certain group of you guys typing on your keyboards, of course headshots should reduce the number of shots to kill. Of course, if you got shot in the head in real life, you would be dead instantly, so you should in a video game. Which, when it comes to the realism argument, this is a Call of Duty game, this is an arcade-style shooter. Gameplay, fun, and balance should always trump realism in Call of Duty. If you're looking for a more realistic milsim sort of scenario, there are plenty of other games out there. That is not what Call of Duty is or ever has been about. However, there's also the other people that have the game balance argument for this, that say headshots should be rewarded because it's a smaller target, it's a higher risk to be aiming for the head compared to center mass, and therefore those that do that should be rewarded for that. And while this is a much more reasonable argument, I would also argue that our time to kill potentials are already extremely fast and don't need to get any faster than that. And I'd be much more open to this argument if there were a slower general time to kill and headshots were helping a little bit. But on top of this, this is where Flinch enters the equation. It's very frequently not skill-based to get a headshot in Vanguard, at least in the state of the beta, because there's actually a pretty decent amount of flinch with weapons, especially when you start looking at the frangible ammunition type, which literally increases the enemy player's flinch when you shoot them. Relatively high flinch combined with high headshot multipliers do not mesh well in Call of Duty. This leads to so many situations where the enemy is actually aiming center mass, but since you shoot them, it kicks their aim up into a headshot, and they're essentially rewarded for that headshot potential without actively aiming for the head. They didn't do anything to set themselves up for that. It was literally just that flinch that happened to kick them up to the head the moment their next shot was going off. And this isn't like a rare one-off occurrence. This was happening quite frequently in the Vanguard Beta. I was getting plenty of headshots where I wasn't intending to aim for the head. I was aiming center mass, but I ended up getting headshots anyway. And if anything, this decreases the headshot skill gap because actively aiming for the head is punished far more because of this flinch. Because if you're aiming for the head and you get flinched, you're going to end up way over the head with your shot and you'll lose that gunfight. This also just leads to a lot of inconsistency in the time to kill. In the situations where you don't get that headshot mixed in there because you didn't happen to get flinched up to the head, your time to kill is going to be noticeably slower than when you are getting flinched up to the head. And same thing goes for your enemies when you're in a fight with them. So this is why, in my opinion, the standard time to kill in Vanguard isn't actually the problem, and even though I tend to prefer a slower time to kill Call of Duty game like Black Ops 4 or Cold War, I accept that this is a very normal time to kill for Call of Duty, and it's more so just a different style to adapt to. Having said this, it's that headshot multiplier that I feel should be fine-tuned in order to lead to a more consistent experience. So while I'm fine with maybe the odd gun here or there that has a slow base time to kill potential, maybe give those guns that pretty solid headshot multiplier where they only need one headshot mixed in with body shots in order to help, I think for most of the guns out there, it should require at least 2 headshots mixed in with body shots in order to help. Like with the BIR, for instance, I could accept getting 2 tapped to the head if both of the bullets hit me in the head, but if one hit my body and one hit my head, I don't think that should be a kill against me. Then when it comes to guns like the Thompson, its base time to kill potential is incredibly fast already at 225 milliseconds. I don't think it needs a high headshot multiplier in order to improve its effectiveness. It's more than effective enough with just body shots, and that massive amount of headshot damage is far from necessary on this gun. Now, on this same topic of having a fast time to kill, this is where I also wanted to circle back to sprint out times or sprint to fire times. I made a video talking about this, and on average, it is too slow in my opinion, especially when you combine it with this fast time to kill. This is another area where I feel like the perception of the time to kill could be improved immensely if you offered the ability to have faster sprint out times by default. I'm not saying the sprint out time should be literally instant, but if there were less of a delay between sprinting and firing your gun, there would be less frustration around that feeling of being melted instantly when you come across somebody that's just sitting and pre-aiming a lane or a piece of cover or something like that. I think if people had a bit more time to react in those situations, then their perception of the time to kill wouldn't be as bad as it currently is. So there we have it. This is my updated feedback on time to kill and sprint out times. I should also mention that I still am strongly against having an ammo type or any sort of an attachment that allows you to increase the amount of flinch you deal to enemy players, because that also leads to a lot of inconsistencies in gunfights. So yeah, I really think this whole time to kill issue could actually be resolved fairly easily by adjusting other values rather than going back to the drawing board and having to completely readjust all of your body damage values for every one of the guns in the game. Now, of course, these are just my opinions. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about the time to kill in Vanguard? Especially now knowing that the body shot time to kills are not out of the ordinary by any means for Call of Duty. Do you agree with me? Do you think headshots are really the primary issue here that need to be resolved, as well as potentially sprint out times? Do you think this would be enough to help alleviate the time to kill complaints? Or do you think they really do have to go back to the drawing board and completely rebalance weapons and have it more of like a Cold War style time to kill? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.